Question is that this bill be now read a second time. I call the member for Wallandilly.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise to speak against the bill as is currently worded in extending by 24 months the period of appointment of the current chairperson of the Racing New South Wales. I rise to speak against this extension for a number of reasons, but I have to admit, sitting here and listening to the debate so far has left me quite flabbergasted. I'm not actually sure what I'm debating, because to me, we've heard all about the amazing racing industry, we've heard about each particular race, about all the people who are employed, and it sounds to me like there's only one person that could create all of these things. Because what I'm hearing is, I'm here to talk about the period of appointment of the current chairman. I rise to speak against the extension for another reasons. Both the governance and the due diligence needed to run a board and the substantial matters of concern that still exist in the industry and the questions around the claims of what has actually been achieved in the 12 years of leadership. And I'm sure there's lots of things that have been achieved. But with any board position, it is necessary to have succession planning and ensure directors act independently. Having a single chair for 14 years is by no means good governance. There appears to be no succession planning, an important job for a board's risk management. The government is choosing to continue a position here without asking openly for interested people for the position. And I'm not saying the current chair shouldn't be chosen if done democratically, but where is the choice here? We only have a choice of extension of time, and it's not the first time we've come as Parliament to an extension of time. There were critical features last time, this time, and I'm sure probably next time. I understand the board needs time to plan, and I believe a shorter period of maybe 6 months would be more sensible in order for the government to answer to the responsibilities outlined in the Act. The government here looks to have left it until the last week of this sitting period, acted like this is just routine and gives us no real option. The option is in the Act, however. Part 2, Section 7, 1 through to 7 outlines exactly how the Minister should establish a panel. The issue is that this needs to be done when there is a vacancy. So asking Parliament to extend this contract is in effect asking us to give the right for renewal for the board away. That shows a lack of respect for the Parliament and the industry. And we're not talking about small figures here too. $422 million income for Racing New South Wales in the 22-23 financial period alone, and the continuation of the contract previously by the New South Wales Liberal and National Coalition in 2019 was due at the time, we're told, for COVID reasons and stability. So what's the reason today for no fresh board members? Is there no one else in this state that the current government can recommend for this job? If not, that's okay, just call for applications, as you never know what expertise we might attract. The current average age of the board is 68 years old, all men except one, hardly diverse and certainly not worth celebrating. We are told by the Minister an accomplishment of the chair is an increased women in the sport, but apparently not in the board itself. Beyond the good governing processes, the claims that have been made for the achievements are that the board are overblown. In others, just plain wrong. There's been a claim that thoroughbreds have been rehomed. 22 horses have been rehomed since this time last year, less than 2 per month. And when I talk to people who should know, they say that land has been purchased, but there's not many horses there being rehabilitated, so there's no rehabilitation happening. It almost looks like land banking with $30 million spent on buying and refurbishing. But how many horses have actually been through it? There's been many reviews and powers have been used by Racing New South Wales. Staff shortages are not unknown or unusual in any industry. Racing New South Wales purchased the TAFE in Scone in 2020 from the former government. A sale of a government asset claimed to answer staff shortages through training, promised to be a world-class training facility. Today there are low enrolments for the few Certificate 4 courses that are run there, all supported and led by this board. A fundamental privatisation agenda, and one Labor should oppose for consistency alone. Coupled with this, for the immense investment from New South Wales Government for developing infrastructure that has not all been spent on tracks and land owned by Racing New South Wales. This has taken funds away from local clubs, again led and driven by this board. While I don't claim to be any expert on racing, although I visited the Bong Bong races on the weekend, there seems to be a lot of politics involved, regardless of who or what the chair is. Instead, we need stakeholder consultation, good governance, and most of all, from this parliament, we need some transparency.